Okay guys, I am taking part in a one-shot D&D campaign this weekend. I suppose you can't call it one-shot a campaign, but you know what I mean. It's a session some friends of mine are kind of organizing. Everybody's set up, everyone's picking their characters. And unfortunately for me, I'm a little bit out of my depth. These characters are starting at level 20. And I'm not really sure how to build a level 20 D&D character. So I was hoping that you guys can flood the comment section and really help me figure out what kind of stats I should take, what kind of skills I should take, perks, equipment, all that kind of stuff to get this character playing the way I want it to. So normally I take something like a halfling thief or a human fighter. I'm not very imaginative when it comes to D&D characters. No Dragonborn or anything like that for me. It's kind of normalized characters. I'm still quite a normalized character, but I'm taking a little step outside my comfort zone and going for a an elf rogue archer style build. Think about every character we ever play when we play a Skyrim playthrough is pretty much what I'm thinking about. I want to go for a lot of stealth, a lot of sneakiness, and I want to be able to put out and assist in combat with some pretty decent damage with my bow and my sword. If you guys could help me do that, that would be amazing. In this video, I'm going to do my part, and that is I'm going to design a character, get it printed out, and get it painted up using the sponsor of today's video. So it should be a little bit of fun. So let's dive in, see what kind of character that I can come up with, and you guys can let me know what you think, and hopefully in the comments, help me design this character. That'd be amazing. All right, thank you guys so much. Let's dive in. Okay, first things first, of course, is to create the character. Like I said, this video is sponsored by Eldritch Foundry, and these guys have an absolutely fantastic program for creating customized characters. So as soon as I load in, I switch to Elf, as that is the race that I want to play in this one-shot D&D game. After you've chosen race, you can of course then decide, like facial structure, cheekbones, lips, eyes, all those different things. You can customize them to your heart content to get exactly the correct character that you want. After that, you of course move on to what you want them to wear, what clothing, what kind of stuff like that. Obviously, I want to go for a rogue, someone that's quite stealthy, so I decided to go for a long flowing jacket, which of course breaks the silhouette up when you're hiding in the shadows. A hood. But I decided to go for a sharp-brimmed pointed hood, which leaves the sides of his face a little bit exposed. As he's an archer, he's going to want to have a wide field of vision. He doesn't want to have a hood blocking off his peripheral vision when he's fighting or firing. So I thought a little tighter hood would make more sense. I gave him a pair of like fancier boots. I'm going to try and make them a magic item, something to give him a little bit more stealth, a little bit more sneak. Some leather wraps around his wrists, or kind of bandages, not really leather, around his wrist for like, moving quietly, accessing doors, opening locks, drawing his bow, those kind of things just to keep the quietness down. I don't want him to have any like chunky armor panels, no gauntlets, nothing that's going to make a lot of noise, I think would exist on this. I gave him a standard elven bow, realizing after a little while I'd given it to him on the wrong side, so we did actually end up switching it around. You can choose whether you want it to be two-handed, and i.e. it jumps into a firing position, or whether you want it to be loosely held in one hand. I decided to go for a more casual character. Not really any dynamic heroic poses, although they do have a whole host of dynamic poses you can put these models in. But if you want to make your own pose, they give you full access to absolutely every kind of bendable part of a human anatomy, so you can put this guy in any position that you want, and it's quite a lot of fun. I know that the guy running the one-shot has been 3D printing and painting up a huge sewer system for this. Obviously, that's some of the games going to participate in that. So I decided to choose the awesome sewer-based option you can get for these characters. And then when I go for a D&D character, I always add a nameplate because I want this guy to be a specific character. He is Ruven. That's the name I've decided to give him. And then obviously, when you're finished creating your character, you can then choose what way you want to get him. You can have them as an STL file, which will be emailed to you for $5. For $25, they will print them out for you and send them to you. You can also get a pre-painted one. It's a little bit more expensive, but you can design and put all the colors in this guy, and then obviously have him ordered at your door fully colored as well. I'll be showing that one off a little bit more next month. But I just chose the STL file, printed it out on one of my printers, got it sprayed up, and now I'm going to bash through the painting side of things. So, like I said, in my previous one-shot that we did a couple weeks ago, this kind of group of players, we meet up every couple of weeks and we just tend to play a one-shot. We can't really commit to a full campaign right now, which is a little bit annoying. We would all like to, but we just know it's not really realistic. So people are taking turns running one-shots, and it's been a lot of fun so far. In this specific one, I don't really know much about the story. Like I said, I know it's going to happen at some point in a sewer system. Imagine a sewer system is somewhat over a city or under a city. Therefore, there's going to be, I don't know, this kind of character just kind of jumped out at me. I want to be stealthy. I want to be like, I don't know, I usually do play pickpockets and thieves and stuff like that. So this guy's not particularly designed to do that. He's more about stealth and sneaking than he is, he's not sneaking to steal someone's pocket. He may be able to break into a lock, get the right angle for a shot or something like that. I want him to be an expert marksman, and I want him to be able to dish out a kind of a decent amount of damage with his bow and with his sword. Like I said at the beginning, I really need help designing this character because I've never designed a character this high. And honestly, designing D&D characters is not really my strong suit. I don't know the game in depth enough to know that I should take, this particular attribute or this particular trait or this particular piece of equipment. I don't know the ins and outs of the games like that. And because I'm a little bit intimidated because these characters are starting for this game at level 20, and that just blew the top of my head off. I don't know where to go or what to do. And I know that a lot of you guys out there watching are going to be big D&D fans. You're going to know all these books really, really well. And you will be able to help me design this character so that I won't act a fool, surrounded by all these other players who have a lot more experience than me and have really optimized level 20 characters that are going to be doing really good in every situation. And I'm going to be sitting there firing one random arrow off into combat and doing very little damage. So please do help. As you can see, I am just throwing on contrast to block in the different colors that I've done. Giving them a nice green jacket, a nice beige kind of tunic, brown trousers, black pants. Gone for some grey, dark grey cobblestones. I'm going to layer them up, but then I decided to add some moss because I kind of imagine sewer cobblestones are going to be pretty gnarly, pretty disgusting. A lot of dampness, a lot of kind of water to them. So I'm going to be using some moss later on to do that. But when all the base coats are on, I did throw the Seraphim Sepia all over it. Help all those tones be pulled together. Yeah, just basically kind of get it all settled ready for the layering stage. Now, why did I choose the name Ruven? Ruven comes from the Night Lord's Omnibus. He is a disreputable, kind of horrible Night Lord that ends up being executed by the other Night Lords because he switches sides and he's kind of... So I kind of played that in mind, the idea. I always liked the Ruven, his name, was always very cool. And I don't know whether I'm going to try and be a little bit more... not so goody two-shoes. I tend to be quite a nice, even though I'm a thief sometimes. But you know what I mean? I'm not a malicious character. I'm always happy to help, and I'm not really sure I want to try and play it that way this time. Like if I imagine being someone who survived inside a large fantasy city, which has kind of dangerous sewers, dangerous you got to be kind of cutthroat. You got to be very street smart. You're not going to be quick to, trust people, or, you're going to walk into a bar, you're going to try and find a seat with your back to a wall and looking over the whole place, and kind of come up and rob you or stab you, or, that kind of thing, that kind of gruff old character. Think of Strider in the first Lord of the Rings movie when Aragorn was sat there in that booth overlooking everything. That's the kind of grim character that I want. He maybe have some heroic attributes, but they are hard to dig out. As you can see, I'm flying through the progress of adding some base coats, some layers to this model now. I've already gotten the green all done up on the coat. Like I said, I need to make it pop, but also be quite muted because it's supposed to kind of blend in with nature. Not too bright in case it's not like a nature environment. He can still jump into the shadows and he's still going to kind of blend in and disappear. I don't imagine him being particularly wealthy. He might have been part of a group of other elves at some point. Maybe he has been kicked out of that group. And that is why he is, trashing around the sewers with a group of disreputable other characters, which I've yet to meet or know what they are like just yet. So he's kind of a little bit down on his luck, but his skills are still in high demand and still does kind of put food on his table and clothes on his back. So it's okay. Okay, going in for a quick layer on faces, Cadian and then Kislev to make it I need to go kind of a little bit heavier in Kislev than I normally do. And I didn't add in the Berserker Bloodshade step that I tend to add into faces because this is an elven character. He's supposed to be really pale, almost like really pallid skin tone. So no really blush to it at all. He also does carry a sword. There is a sword on his hip as well. So When he has finished firing off his arrows, he can draw his sword. So I don't know whether I can multi-class and be kind of useful in a fight and useful at shooting, or do you guys think I should delve really heavily and really hardly into when I fire a bow, everyone in the room ducks because it's going to do crazy power. It's going to really like hit like a freight train, take the head off the enemy, that kind of thing. I want it to roll around to my turn and everyone to be like, okay, cool, at least he's going to take a big chunk of damage off, or he's going to participate. I mean, stuff like that. A couple of other trim details. I got the parchment thing done on his base. I'm golding up the Ruven, so I decided to do it in golds just to be a little bit fancy. I'm going to grab the moss now, which is the Dirty Down series moss, the water-soluble paint stuff. It smells awful. It's really good. You got to shake it like so much. In fact, you've got to open it up and get a little like trowel in there and stir the bottom, mix it all up, and then give it a really good shake. And then you just apply it kind of like a wash into, you can usually just do it like cracks and crevices and nooks and like not the whole thing, but I decided to do the whole cobblestone because it's, like I said, it's a sewer. It's going to be totally covered in moss and algae and grossness, really slippy rocks. So I think the moss is going to do exactly what I want it to. That brings me to the final result, my finished miniature ready for the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I really do hope you are willing to spend a couple of minutes in my comment section helping me design this character. And if anyone is particularly helpful, I will of course shout out who was good and who made this character. And yeah, hopefully we can be a little bit of a collaborative opportunity. And then of course I will let you guys know how the game went after it is all said and done, whether I survive and whether I did well. Okay guys, thanks to Eldritch Foundry, I was able to create exactly the character I wanted, get him designed, printed and painted up, and now Ruven exists in physical form. He is a wily wood elf slash high elf slash dark elf. He's an elf rogue. I don't think he's very morally good. He's not too bad, but I think he definitely puts his own interests ahead of everybody else. So we'll see how that plays out in this one shot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video talking about getting this model prepared. And hopefully by the end of the comment section pouring in, I'll have an idea of what the hell I'm supposed to do with this character for a level 20 character. Never had a level 20 character before, so I'm a little bit lost. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, ask me any questions you want in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to get even more content from me, check out the Patreon link down below. You get access to a private Discord server, hang out with me on a daily basis, talk about your hobby, take part in all the different events that we have over there, and you get an extra video every single week just for you guys. So if that sounds like something that interests you, check it out. All right guys, let's get ready.